This is the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast, episode 385.
I program my own computer.
We have a server crash, 404 error, page not found, links aren't working, system is crashing, system is crashing, system is crashing.
Your old HTML website, barely alive. We have the technology. We have WordPress. A new website, better than it was before. Better, stronger, faster. We have the technology.
Why, hello everybody, this is Adam Silver, the host of the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. All right, upcoming events. We have one next weekend, WordCamp Santa Clarita. That's out in SoCal, Southern California, for those who don't know. July 17th and 18th. Doesn't really matter where it is because it's online only. Just check that out. There are a bunch of great speakers. I mean, they're all great speakers. I know a whole bunch of them. I believe my friend Renee is speaking at that one. And I believe, who else is speaking that I know? There's a handful more that I know. See, here we go, speakers. Ada Cora is speaking, Alicia St. Rose, Amber Hines, she's been on this podcast, Amy Hall, she's awesome, Amy June Heinland. Yeah, there's Ann McCarthy. Wow, this is like a stacked up, amazing. Cami Chaos is speaking. This is awesome. Man, I should have Carol. Anyway, check it out. It's going to be a great WordCamp, I'm sure, and check that out. So there you go. That's the only upcoming event and no jobs to discuss at the moment. So moving on to segment one in the news, two things here. SearchWP is joining Awesomotive. John Christopher, who created SearchWP, I have two links to two different blog posts, one from Search, one from Awesomotive. Awesomotive, of course, owns Opted Monster, WP Beginner, and what else? WP Forums, Monster Insights, they own all those, Seed Prod, etc., Smash Balloon, and they acquired SearchWP. So congratulations to both sides of that acquisition. I'm sure it's a good thing for John as well. And also in the news, WordPress 5.8 release candidate 2 came out last week on the 7th, I believe, of July. More things have been fixed. If you're not tried it yet, you want to go ahead and start trying it and testing it and seeing if you can help make sure there are no bugs when it releases. Still on release is slated for July 20th, which will be about a week after this episode comes out. This episode is due on the 12th of July, so yeah, about 8 days later. So there you go. And I'm actually going to probably dive into 5.8 and do a review on that one as soon as it does come out. So I haven't done that in a long time. So there you go. That is it in the news. Yeah, that's it for the news. Moving on, segment 2, the meat potatoes of this week's show, WooCommerce Alternatives number 3. I'm doing one a month, as I mentioned a few months ago. This month, we're talking about Prestashop. I've checked them out because I've heard about it. I've seen it. And I was like, what's this all about? What is Prestashop? So continuing this process, I checked Prestashop.com. Looks like you can get an online account and it's free, but I also seen an app available in certain hosting sites. I was right. So I went to my dev server and it's a freemium open source e-commerce solution, as it says. So with a lot of features, you can create an online store and grow your business. So it has an online demo. The website does. Looks good. We'll come back to that in a bit. And similar to WordPress, it's open source. So you can start with downloading the software in the zip. It's 1.7.7.5 is the most recent version, about 70 megabytes. And then you install it locally or wherever you want to put it. For this testing and this review, I went ahead and tested it with my dev server in a subdomain. So I did like Prestashop my dev.xyz. I own a domain with an XYZ. I put it there. And then I created the subdomain first, added the application. I entered an email address and a password, clicked install. About 5 minutes later, it was done. I noticed that there was an admin folder, and I didn't know what that was for, and my email and password, pretty basic stuff. It took 5 minutes, like I said, and I went and looked at it. It's done. It looks nice. There's a bunch of sample data. There's a store setup. It looked pretty cool. I poked around, tested the front end for a bit, tested the contact form, and for some reason never did get that. I'm not surprised. Email may not have been set up. Again, come back to that at the end of this conversation here. I tried for another 5 minutes to figure out how to log into the admin side. I could not figure that out for the life of me. Thought maybe it had something to do with the admin folder, and that didn't work either. So it turns out I was lucky enough to I went back and logged into the server itself, and there is a button there that says login to admin login. So I did that, kind of like on some sites they have like WP admin. You can just kind of bypass the login page. So it did that for me. I got in. And I used my name and password for that, but I needed to use that link first. So there was nothing on the front end I could find. It wasn't like your WP-admin. That did not exist. And it wasn't even in that folder that they created for me as well. So I'm a little confused on that still, but I got in. Logging in gets me to a welcome pop-up. Preston, in quotes, because it's Prestashop. Preston gives you a tour, showed me the steps to add a product. Fairly straightforward. I closed the tour finally. I'm taken back to the dashboard. And I got to say, this dashboard really packed with information. The main screen shows metrics, forecasts, products, sales, activity overview, a lot of stuff you can do there. You can also turn that stuff on or off, much like you can do in a dashboard of WordPress. On the left side of the panel was sections of sell, improve, and configure. And sell has within it orders, catalog, customers, customer service, and stats. Improve has more modules, designs, shipping, payment, and international. And the configure has shop parameters and advanced parameters. So I popped over to the catalog and in the very top area, and I wanted to see, it had another 8 or 9 sub areas. So I turned off all the products that it came with, except the one I just created during the tour, which was easy enough. It's a batch process, pretty easy. Say select all, and I unselected the one I didn't want, I wanted to keep, etc. So oddly enough, I didn't see my product on the front end that I created in the tour, because it turns out there's a checkbox slider dealio on the bottom of the product page that needs to be slid to on to appear. Okay, pretty cool. You can also duplicate the product, change some info, and have other products be the same overall settings, which I think would save a chunk of time. If you have multiples of the same sort of product, I guess multiples of the same sort, but that you want all the same settings. It'd just be easier to duplicate them and then just change out the text in the photo. Be a lot faster than create from scratch, for example. There is, of course, also product combinations. So you can do clothes for, let's say, sizes and colors, variations, that kind of thing. You can do that in Woo as well, just saying kind of very comparable. I'm always interested in discounts and codes and how can you do that? So I headed over to the discount area. You can have cart rules, is what they call them there. It's really deep, lots of options, even down to the individual customer per person. So that's kind of cool, which makes sense. And I kept poking around, and I went to the module manager because I wanted to see now what can I do with add-ons, and that's what they are. They are like add-ons, and there are a lot of them. Easy enough to find. They have a category, admin, design, navigation, shipping, payments. And just like WordPress, there are free and premium levels. The most expensive one, which I thought was interesting, because you can see the pricing right there, was for what was it called? Advanced subscriptions and automatic recurring payments at $719. So that's a pretty pricey module, I thought. Same for themes. There are free level and paid level. And I didn't change one out because I didn't see any ones for free that I wanted to try out, so I didn't want to pay for one. So anyway, and then more settings. I went to the more area, and email didn't go through because email was there and expected. I had not set up an email server connection yet. So I got an error 200 when I tried to test this on email. And once I fixed that, no problem, no big deal. You can also have employees and teams, giving people different functions and allowing them to see certain things and not do certain things. Again, very common things to do in an e-commerce shopping backend type of thing. So, pretty cool information, pretty cool stuff there. And it didn't take that long to figure things out in this case. Regarding that online demo, it's just that. It's exactly what I just went through, which I realized, of what you get when you install locally. I think per the website, which was confusing to me, was it said create my store. So I thought there was a hosted option like Etsy, but I was wrong. It's just a way to download the zip. So you go and self-host. So if you want to do it locally, you can with desktop server or local by Flywheel to test things out. You can do that easily enough. Pretty interesting process, relatively straightforward and simple. A lot of depth in the options that you're given. And my overall take is I kind of liked it. I think maybe it's because it's the open source nature of the platform, like WordPress. Like I said, it has the depth, it has the way you think as far as the server goes, and it could be a really good solution if you don't need WordPress at all. If you're like, you know what, I just want a store, and that's it. This could be a really good solution because it is self-hosted, because it is open source. I like that a lot. If you want a blog, you could add WordPress in a subdirectory, /blog, or, and just have the blog aspect on top of your store as a secondary item possibly. So I think it's a relatively solid solution for a store that is outside of WordPress. And it's weird for me to say this, but, I think it's, true. So there you go. So if you like it, check it out. If you want to check it out, head over to prestashop.com. It's free, and check it out. Oh, the last thing here is it's self-hosted, which also means it's self-promoted. I mean, it's unlike Etsy. It's not a marketplace. That's still all you. You need to go out and find the business and find the buyers of whatever you're trying to sell. So that would be a potential downside. Same thing with with anything else, other site that is not a marketplace like an Etsy kind of thing. So there you go. I was impressed, which it's kind of rare for me. I mean, I'm usually so jaded, but why wouldn't I just use WordPress? But in this case, I thought it was kind of interesting. So check that out if you're interested in that as an alternative. Prestashop. Yeah, kind of neat. All right, moving on. Segment 3, tip and tool of the week. This week it is a podcast and a website with resources to learn to code. It's called Learn to Code with Me. It's over at learntocode.me. It's by Lawrence Bradford. She has a podcast and she has a whole bunch of resources about coding. Some stuff is free, some stuff is paid. Just the resources. It's a listing of things. And she has the podcast is the primary thing that she's doing right now. So check that out. Learn to Code with Me. Learn to Code with .me. That's it right there. Okay. So let me wrap it up here and get you out of here. If you have any questions, go ahead, send it in via email. I'm adam@KitchensinkWP.com, or use the speak pipe function on the website. If you don't support the show, become a Patreon. That'd be great. There's a link on the website. You can sponsor the show as well. There's a form on the website. And if you're looking for business coaching because you have a side hustle and you want to be held accountable, check out my offerings over at adamsilver.com. Thanks for listening. Now go out and do some awesome things with WordPress. All right. Bye-bye.